with a responses due date of April 8, 2020. So we'll be following up with Walter Lane and folks at the Somerset County Planning about the proposals that do come into the county as they proceed with the study of the AT&T campus. So
Okay.
we'll continue to keep the Land Use Board apprised of those efforts as we gather more information from the County Planning Department.
Okay, all right. Anyone else on the board? No?
You can also confirm that also on the state plan work that Frank and his team filed the voluminous documents with the help of Janine and Frank's staff, and they
A lot of help from Janine.
and they require it in a DVD format, and it's been submitted, it's been acknowledged, received, and they'll be contacting us about scheduling a meeting of Paul and Frank and probably the mayor. They want one official at least, and they'll be talking about what are they expecting towns to do for center designation extensions and plan endorsement extensions that we talked to you about last meeting. So things are moving at state pace.
Okay.
With the deadline of July 1st.
That's a special pace, right?
I appreciate it.
Do we want to schedule another subcommittee meeting, or are we ready for that, or?
Well, are you prepared to talk about the proposed ordinance?
Well, I wasn't, but I could, if you're ready.
I think you had some changes, so I was just talking about
Yeah.
for the committee, because I know
Oh,
that
okay.
Joe prepared some
Yeah,
language. You had some comments to it, so if
Right.
perhaps the subcommittee could just meet real briefly for an update from Tom, and then on the other issue, you were looking at the 26th, right?
right.
Yes, right.
So I think-
26th, right. I think everybody's available for that, yes.
Except for Frank.
Yeah, so
Except for
Davis
Frank
is coming,
and Dave's gonna come.
Yeah, David.
This was seconded.
For a subcommittee, right. Yeah, that's a morning
Okay.
meeting, right, okay. So,
So the sign ordinance, and, let's talk about it as a board. I don't have-
No, well, because we don't.
Are you prepared
we didn't,
to do
you don't
that
have
yet?
it yet, because
No.
you and Haggerty
Yeah,
were still
I-
going back and forth
Right.
on some,
Yeah,
Some
although I
issues.
think my draft to the subcommittee is, well, it wasn't a full subcommittee. My draft to Joe and to Frank and maybe Paul and you was basically, the draft so far is to eliminate the flag signs completely, to update a little bit the banner sign, but keep it low height and not flag-like. And that's the concept, and that's where we seem to be headed. It's pretty small verbal change, but it could resolve if it was what the committee and the board and the subcommittee decide. But I think we should let the subcommittee say to the board, we recommend it, and then the board recommends the committee. If there's an urgency, that could be accelerated. But the committee can just introduce an ordinance and refer it to the planning board for referral report. This is the kind of thing that wouldn't be inconsistent with a master plan. The master plan doesn't talk about this level of detail. And, we can move ahead. It looks like a pretty easy one if the policymakers are satisfied with the concept.
okay. So maybe we could meet then on the 26th for that as well?
So would you be
prepared for that?
yeah, at that time you'd be
I have
prepared to.
done, yeah, and Joe, I sent it to Joe, so yes, we could definitely be looking at the actual draft ordinance on the 26th.
Good, okay.
Okay.
And how does that work, Tom? You're gonna delete those sections of
Yeah, I
the
mean-
ordinance that we're replacing?
Yeah, Joe did the first cut on it. It's interesting, the way it's written, there's a paragraph that comes out about flag signs, which permitted them. That would come out, it would no longer be permitted. There's another change to the banner, temporary banner signs. That change accomplishes the,
So what you sent us was just a resolution that would change the order.
no, that is the ordinance, that's how simple it is.
Oh, okay.
It's, you know, two or three paragraphs change, one comes out. That's the way ordinances work. You basically want to just surgically deal with what do you have to change.
Less is more.
To a large extent, especially if you're prohibiting something.
Yeah, right.
Now, one of the questions had, I thought of this as I drove by a storefront that had a flagpole, a flag out there that said, "Open."
Really necessary, right?
Would that get addressed by your ordinance or
Well, the way that
or the way it's
Joe is-
drafted now?
Yeah, the way Joe is saying it is that basically the only way those kinds of things exist is because they have this, you have this provision about flag signs, and they don't require a permit. Meanwhile, they also, you do more than one, they do things that are not really what was intended, and so once you stop allowing the flag signs, he can enforce that, and they can't have it.
So to me, I guess there was the distinction between the...
And we're not talking about the American flag, by the way.
So to the,
Constitute
I give
a
that the
flag
first,
sign.
that is the First Amendment right, I'm not going there, okay?
So
But
the feather, those feather plastic wavy things,
they were only being allowed because they were interpreting them as, arguing them to be flag, temporary flag signs, but they didn't require a permit.
okay. And I'm
Now,
just making that
now,
distinction
it just
between,
won't be allowed.
between a flag
That's
on a
right.
flagpole
That's
that
right.
says open or something else,
Right.
that one is allowable and the other would be prohibited
That's right.
as that.
And even the ones that are banner signs, temporary banner signs like saying grand opening or whatever normally is done with banner signs, they will clearly require a permit and will have a limit of the number of times per year.
And size,
An absolute
and
limit.
size,
I think it's 3, and size and height.
right.
And then,
And, yes,
you know, to
and-
some
and
extent, if
length.
somebody needs one, they could ask for variance for that, okay? But it would have to either come to the planning board, or there might be certain types of signs which are like special volunteer organization signs and things that might deal with special permission of the township committee, but that would be sort of exceptions, rare exceptions probably. Now this, Joe, your zoning officer, you're a relatively new zoning officer, although he's been here many years, I guess, and so these are things he's, you know, facing and recommends, the practical recommendations. So, something that I can't read with him on, and you can't have him be the discretionary arbiter of these signs. Even though we'd all like that, I guess, but you can't really do that.
Really give them the power.
You can't.
Yeah, right.
You can try, but I don't want to defend that. okay?
Right.
So it's-
Big fish, small pond, the whole deal.
Right. Okay, so we'll plan on the 26th then for those things. Okay. Next week, we have Elite on the schedule. I think everybody's got their plans now. I know we're having trouble getting plans for whatever reasons, and we're going to try to give out plans at meetings rather than try to send them. And if they're large plans, like we've had a couple very large sets of plans, we'll either come pick them up or something, so they're
I
not...
was gonna say, if you're ever in a pinch, I can always run down like I did the
Yeah,
other day. No
exactly.
problem.
Which was great, guys. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And anybody else I will deliver, when Bedminster Farms does come, what they brought me now, they're about this big. So that's not going in anyone's.
Clear your knee room table.
Yeah,
Nice.
right,
Unfortunately,
exactly.
no room in Hillsborough. Mailboxes for that.
Paul,
Yes.
that's a planning board application, not a zoning board.
There are no D variances, so it's a planning board application.
Can I say?
They are fee simple lots.
For the record,
More homework for you.
for the
Or,
record, it is.
You're on the hook.
The initial
Tom, you agree with that?
well, yes,
Shopping for
Yes.
the initial concept that they had, Mayor,
Ash Frankenfall.
the really off-the-wall concept that they came up with, they're not doing anything. This is a straightforward, single-family residential site. There are probably a lot of de minimis exceptions from the residential site improvement standards for streets. Even private streets are subject to the residential site improvement street standards. So get your, we'll making the engineers work on that one.
Slide rules and abacuses.
I have a slide rule in my office, and 2/3 of the people that have no idea.
No. What is that? Can I make a straight line with that?
Colin has an app that shows you how to use one. Do you have, for the 26th, Carol, what time are we meeting?
I was hoping for 9:30.
It was
That's what
9:30?
I asked for. I think everybody, well,
9:30
Frank
in
is
the
having
morning?
Dave go.
Nine.
We haven't asked
What do we do?
George,
Wake up when the sun
and
comes
we
over
haven't
our body?
asked, Rich, we haven't asked George and Rich, so if you could, we would like to try to meet when Paul's here, which happens to be every Thursday, and the 26th happened to work for some of us.
It's okay with me, 9:30?
9:30.
No chance of doing it earlier.
A little earlier, but
But like,
I have a night meeting the night before, so
Can we do 9 a.m.?
that's fine.
9
a.m.,
9 o'clock?
everybody?
All right,
David will
9
probably
o'clock.
be available. He plays.
9.
March 26th.
9 o'clock,
March 26th.
March 26th,
March
Thursday,
26th,
Daylight
right.
savings time.
9 o'clock.
Here.
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 I'm ready.
9 a.m.
Okay, do we have anything to say about Rutherford, Paul, or that?
They're getting closer to resubmitting. I spoke to Paul Fox today. He said, you know,
Oh, so it's just, okay, strictly pending, okay.
Yeah, that says it here.
All right, we can have a motion to close.
Motion.
Second. Jeffrey. Quick draw.
Motion to adjourn. No more.
Say goodnight, Dick.
How come you got so much?
Why would you-